Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Katie. I'm a second year PA student in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today's video is going to be my 2024 reset / New Year's resolutions, goals, whatever you want to call it. Something that I have a love-hate relationship with about this time of year is that my birthday is also New Year's Eve. So I'm turning 26 and it's like the brand new year. So I wanted to do a little bit of a different take on this. So I'm going to be doing 27 things before I turn 27. So it's more of like a year bucket list rather than just like resolutions, I would say. So I'm excited about this list. I put it together. Well, it's on my phone, but that's what I'm filming on. So I'm going to pull it up on my iPad, as well as like I made plans on my computer on how I'm going to accomplish these things. So I wanted to walk you guys through what I was going to do to make those things happen. Unfortunately, because I'm like overly ambitious sometimes, I made my list into 29 things rather than 27, but I think some of them kind of go hand in hand, so we could really consolidate if we needed to. But anyways, let's get into it. So let's get started by talking about my 2023 goals, and this is going to be really quick because I literally don't even remember what they are. I wrote them down in a notebook and I have no clue where that notebook is. I didn't write them down anywhere like on my computer or anything, like they're not in a Google Doc somewhere. So we're just gonna say that I didn't accomplish any of those things, and the reason for that is literally not even a good reason. I was distracted this year, and you can take one guess as to what distracted me. So I'm taking a break from that because I really don't think, one, am I in the place to be like dating someone? Am I my best self? No. And two, I think once I get my life figured out after this year, I can really start to sit down and think about what I want in that part of my life. So right now I'm just not going to focus on it. And I think a lot of people are in that same boat. So boy sober for 2024. That's not really on my list, but that is a goal as well. I am graduating in PA school this year in August, so I kind of broke my goals up into the two sections of my year. So the first 8 months is going to be more like PA school focused, obviously, because like I have to finish, like there's no option here. I cannot continue this, so I have to keep going. And that didn't make sense, but what I'm saying is like I have to pass everything, because like if I spend one more second in PA school past what I'm scheduled to spend in PA school, I'm gonna lose my brain. So anyways, and then once I graduate, the next 4 months of the year have their own set of goals. And then I broke out some from the list that are going to be things that I can work on throughout the span of the year that are more like personal, and you'll see once you see the list. But I'm gonna put the list up here so you can kind of see like as I'm going through like what I'm going to do, but I'm going to tell you about like kind of my plan that I've made to accomplish these. So some of you have probably heard about the 12-week year. A lot of people are talking about it on TikTok, and I think it is really beneficial, especially because like if you try to focus on too many goals at one time, like you're not going to accomplish anything. So for me, I'd rather focus on, you know, maybe breaking it into 4 months rather than 3, but doing like 4 months of my first 8 months focusing on one thing, 4 months focusing on the next, and then the rest of the year focusing on you know, the after PA school goals. So the first thing is to pass the remaining EORs. I think I've told you guys this before, but I have failed exams in didactic as well as an EOR so far, and I am not interested in doing that again. Like, I am not going to give people the satisfaction of telling me that like I'm not going to pass the board exam. I'm going to pass the board exam. I'm going to pass every EOR. I'm going to pass the end of curriculum, and I'm going to graduate. And so anyways, we're passing the EORs, and that's just final. So what I'm going to do to do that is instead of typing my notes, I'm going to write them out. And I know that's going to take me a lot longer, but I don't care because writing really helps solidify things for me. And I think I've just been purposely trying to avoid it because I knew it was going to take much more time than I needed to spend, but I just had to break down and do it. So I found the Smarty Pants subscription, and I've been using that to study for the pants in general. And I'm going to use their EOR study plan as well. And I'm just gonna break it up into like 2 hours each day of like the topics I want to cover, and I'm just gonna write them out. I got a notebook already that I'm gonna just like have for each rotation, so that's what I'm gonna do there. And in my little plan, which I can put on the screen for you as well, I'm gonna write out my study notes and do 20 practice questions every day, and then do a full-length practice exam every Saturday of the rotation so that I can get a feel for where I'm at, where I can still improve on top of, you know, all of the studying that I'm going to be doing. So it's just like we have a lot of work to do, but that's fine because I can do it. I know I can. Like once I set my mind to something, like I'm going to do it pretty much. It's just I think my problem is that, like I said, I was distracted during my last EOR, and I'm struggling with a lot of like attention issues. So I'm also getting worked up for ADHD. So, you know, that might be helpful, but either way, I'm going to see a psychiatrist so we can talk about kind of what's holding me back from achieving my goals that way. So if you need medical help, I think you should do it. Anyways, back to the goals. That being said, I'm also going to pass the pants. Like, hello, have to. So I found the Smarty Pants 8-week plan, and I'm going to do that 3 times before I take the boards. So the first one I'm going to finish up by the end of our February callback because we have a summative exam during that time. And then we take the pack rat in April, or vice versa. I don't really remember, but either way, like they're pants practice exams. And so I think if I do the 8-week study plan between each of those, that'll give me a better feel for like what I'm actually like deficient in versus just me not really trying. So we'll kind of use that to gauge how I'm going to do on the pants, but I'm actually going to try this time. That being said, I'm going to get my first big girl job this year, so I gave myself some deadlines. I'm going to have my resume and CV finalized by January 15th, and then I'm going to start actively pursuing jobs in March. I'm not really sure if this is a good timeline or not. There's been so many mixed things that I've heard from practicing PAs on when to start applying for jobs, but I think getting your name out there early and often is the best plan, and I'm someone who would like to have things done sooner rather than later. So if I could at least have an idea of what state I'm going to practice in when I graduate, I think that will be helpful. So I'm going to do that. And then the next goal, these are all the first half of the year goals, by the way, is to get 2 paid social media management clients. So right now I'm doing social media management for my parents' business, and I'm using that to build my portfolio so that I can present myself to other small businesses as an asset that they need, want, and can utilize to maximize their profit. So the little task items I've made for that is to get my website put together, which I'm working on, put together a portfolio, give my parents business cards because they work with a lot of small businesses too, so they can have my business card in their office alongside theirs in case any of their clients need social media management. And then I have a deadline for myself to make a profile on Upwork and Fiverr by March 5th, and I'll use the 3 months of data that I had from my parents' page to kind of market myself that way. So that's kind of an agreement that I had with my parents. They're gonna let me do their social media. I'm gonna do it at no charge so that I can get the experience, build a portfolio, and use it to present myself to other companies. Now, on to the second half of the year. So this is post-graduation, because I'm not gonna say if I graduate, it's when I graduate, because I'm not playing in PA school longer than I have to. And these goals might be a little bit over the top, might be too ambitious, but you just never really know. So the second half of the year, I'm going to buy a new car. That's simply because I drive a Jeep Wrangler right now. She gets literally like 13 miles to the gallon because she has bigger tires on her. She's lifted, you know, the whole nine. I bought it. I knew it was going to be like that, but if I'm commuting like 35 minutes to work every day, like something's got to give, and I need a more fuel efficient car, especially because gas prices are high. Also, my parents had extra room on their Costco membership and didn't even tell me for like a year. So I could have been saving gas money that way. But I got the Costco card now, so I'll be using their fuel points and like getting their cheaper gas. But still, in these small towns where I'm rotating, I'm not really going to have that option all the time. So I will be getting a new car at some point once I graduate. So the way I'm going to achieve that is I'm obviously going to live on the smallest amount of money that I can. That's why I bought my camper. I will leave like a little card right here so you can see about that. But I literally bought that camper so I could use it for traveling for these rotations and not having to pay for Airbnbs, because those things are so expensive, especially for a month at a time, to whereas like a campground is a way less. And I'm also going to be living in it for like 4 to 6 months after I graduate so that I can save a crap ton of money and put that towards my other financial goals, such as buying a car, paying off my Southwest credit card, paying off my Discover credit card. Those are all financial goals that I have for the year, and I'm going to do that by cutting down my expenses to the absolute minimum that they can be. I'm going to get a serving job probably and save at least half of every day's money. And then if I get the 2 paid social media clients, like that would also help with that. So I think I have good systems set up to be able to do those financial goals, as well as if I can start working earlier, that would be great too. So I've been seeing on TikTok a lot of people doing these like day trips to New York City, and a lot of my friends really want to do that. I just went to New York, which those videos are going to be live once you see this one. So you can check those out too. I went to New York with my mom for Christmas and did all of the little Christmassy things in New York City, and it was so much fun. So I really would love to go back and do like the little day trip to New York thing on a really cheap flight. So I'm going to get the Hopper app to see when the flights are going to be really cheap, as well as I have that Southwest credit card that I mentioned, so I get points doing that. And I might also get the Chase Sapphire card because I've heard that that's really good for travel points. That's just the best one I've heard from multiple people, and I think utilizing a credit card to get the benefits of it and be responsible with the payments and everything is something that I really want to work towards. Obviously, I have 2 credit cards that are maxed out right now, and that's not financially responsible, and I don't want to continue that path for my life. So in 2024, I'm going to be working on being financially responsible with credit and borrowing. The next thing is I'm going to get my real estate license where I live and work. And this is like opening the door into what I call partially PA. I want to be a PA, but I want to do other things as well. And one of those other things is real estate investment. So I want to buy a property to live in. Obviously, I would like to buy my first house at some point before I'm 30. But I also want to start a rental business. And whether that's going to be like for traveling people, students on rotations, who knows? But anyways, being my own agent is going to save me a little bit of money, and if I can sell a couple houses otherwise to other people, like friends, then that's a good little side hustle, I think. I know there's a lot of people who say you can't do real estate part-time, but literally my parents did that my whole life, so I know it can be done. I know the market is weird right now, but even if I only ever get the commissions off of my own purchases, that will be worth what I paid to do the course. That's going to be like whatever state that I decide to get a job in. So the next things are going to be like more fun goals for the end of the year. So like I said, I graduate in August, which is like the start of football season, and I went to Clemson, so like we're really into Clemson football, obviously, and my best girlfriends are also, we all went to Clemson together. So I want to go to a Clemson game with my dad. We've talked about potentially the Duke game, but I'm not sure. And then a Clemson game with my group of girls. And so I think we're going to start planning that around May, just because one of them is a practicing PA right now. One of them's in CRNA school. I'm in PA school. One works as a contractor for the government, and the other one works at American Express in New York. So like we all have very, very busy schedules. So we like to plan things way in advance to make sure that everyone can be there. Then I want to do a weekend trip with my mom and my sister, but we talked about at our family Christmas maybe doing like a whole extended family trip where we get a cabin in like Gatlinburg or something and doing that. So that would accomplish both of those. I would like to find a church home, which again depends on where I move. I think the rotations have been really hard for me because I was like in this habit of going to church with my friends every Sunday, and it was a really great way to spend time with them and also like work on our faith like individually. But like having the community of like people that believe like you believe is really important to me, and so I really want to find that early on in my PA career because I know it can be really hard sometimes, and I think it's a great way to meet people that are like-minded. So want to do that. I think I'm going to try a new church each Sunday for 2 months and then kind of decide from there, like if I found one that I liked more than the others, probably just be a member there. I want to get Bentley a yard, obviously, whether that's renting a place that has a yard or buying my own. I probably won't be able to buy a house this year, but you know, we're working towards it. You never know what can happen. And then again, the $2,000 a month on social media management, if I could make that, I would really be able to like offset some of the debt payments that I have. And especially like when my student loan payments kick in, like having that money would literally pay for that. So that would be good. So the next ones are just kind of like random ones that I plan to work on throughout the entirety of the year. So this is kind of where the 12-week year thing comes in, and I'll explain that once I go through these. But one is run a 10K. So my plan is to walk a mile, or to run or walk a mile each day until I'm running the mile fully, and then adding on 0.25 miles each day. So I should be able to do this if I stick to my plan by February 10th, which is part of my 12-week plan, or my 12-week year. I'm going to be running 4 days a week and adding the 0.25 each day. Then I want to get monetized on YouTube, and this is something that I added to the 12-week year as well, because I think sometimes I just like don't put as much into it as I probably could. So I want to have 1,000 subscribers by the time I get to March 25th. And so I know that's gonna be hard, but I've seen like a decent amount of growth recently, which kind of makes me think it's partly possible. So I have a plan for doing that. I'm gonna post at least one short every day, and then my long video once a week, and then I have my little bonus videos that I'll be doing. So like this video will be a bonus video because I want it to go live before the new year, but it's not like part of my regular weekly upload schedule. And then I'll be doing like monthly resets as well. I really like watching those, and I think it would help me stay like on track with these goals. So maybe I'll make that a little series of like how I'm implementing the 12-week year and my 27 before 27 into like every month, and like showing you guys my progress with those. One short every day, one video per week, and then I'm going to invest in TubeBuddy to help my SEO, because I think sometimes like I post things with like titles that I think are going to be good, but they might not actually be the best title for my video. So we'll see. I'm doing a trial for that right now. I haven't seen a ton of results, but I just want to keep trying it until I decide. And then another goal is to take Bentley on a sunrise walk, which sounds like dumb, but like I've really been wanting to do the sunrise and like take my camera out there and like do photos and stuff. with her and like maybe with my friends too. So I might do that when I go to Florida or when we go home for like a callback for PA school, because we have like plenty of time, and you know, sometimes we don't have to be there right at 8. So I have plenty of time to do that. I just need to like put it at the forefront of my mind. I want to do a girls trip to Nashville. That's like, I love Nashville, and I know that's so basic, but I don't really even care. Like, I've been going there since I was like 19 years old, and I just love it there so much. And so I want to take my girlfriends who have never been to Nashville along with some people who have been, because there's so much fun things we can do there, and like a girl trip is always like so much fun. So another goal is to do 20 boat days, and I know that like that doesn't sound like a lot, but really like when you think about how much of the year is actually good boating weather, like that's going to take a commitment, but I'm happy to do it because like I love boating. It's my favorite hobby. My family likes it, my friends like it, I can do it by myself if I want to, so I want to do that. So I think I'm definitely going to do 2 when I go to Florida again, and then I can do 1 on each callback, so that's already 6. I have a week-long spring break where I can do at least 2, and then, you know, my dad and I will do plenty whenever we're both at home in Charleston, as well as, like, other places around. We're a member of Freedom Boat Club, so basically that means that we can take out boats from whatever marinas have them. That's part of the boat club as well. So that's how I was able to go on the boat in Florida as well as in Charleston. It's not our boat, like we get to choose what boat we want to go on each day that we go out. So you don't have to own the boat, you just like pay this membership fee and you can take a boat out whenever, wherever in the whole country. So I think that's a little bit better for us right now anyways. So 20 boat days. Another one is taking my grandma on a dinner date. I feel like she doesn't get to like go out a ton, and I just want to treat her to a really nice meal that she chooses and that she's gonna love, and we can have some good time together because she's my bestie and I want to do things that make her happy. Another one is volunteer at a charity that I love. I haven't really been volunteering much since I got into PA school because obviously I've been like really consumed with other things, but I think volunteering is a great way to obviously give back to your community, but it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself as well, just because like I get the most joy in like helping others and serving others. So I think that'll like bring back some like wholesomeness to my life, as well as like do something good for other people, because right now like I definitely think I'm doing things for myself, which is fine because I'm pursuing this like degree that's really hard and, you know, not where I want to be, but that doesn't mean that I can't donate my time if I don't have money to donate. So I'd like to work with Ronald McDonald House. I did that in high school and I just loved it. And something that's also really special to me is the Purple Leash Project, and it helps victims of domestic violence and their pets. A lot of pets get left behind in those situations, and if something like that happened to me and something happened to Bentley, I just would not be able to live with myself. So I want to help people in that situation. That goes along with like growing in my prayer and faith. Like I want to rely on God a lot more this year. I think when I get distracted by sometimes I let my faith like go to the wayside, and so I want to like really grow in that and just like keep obedience to God like as the first and foremost. I know there's a lot of changes coming up in my life this year, and I think sometimes when you're presented with too many options, like it can get overwhelming. And I know at least for me, like I always like to have some kind of like guide in making my decisions, and I think God puts in this like gut feeling of like what's right. He makes things easy that are supposed to be easy for us. So I really want to focus on being obedient to him, whether that's like necessarily what I want to do, but I know I need to do it, if that makes sense. I can see that playing a role in like what job I choose, where I live, when I buy a house, those types of things. I want to gain confidence in myself. Obviously that's something that's like kind of hard to measure, but I think I could use some boosting in that department. And I think that just comes from keeping your promises to yourself. So like the 12-week years and like actually checking off these things, I think is going to help me with my confidence. I know it comes from building healthy habits and routines, which is something I really want to work on this year. Obviously, all of these things, all these goals that I want to do require me to be a better version of myself. And so I think like working on myself is going to give me the confidence that I'm like looking for. And then I think that will help with like the whole like dating situation, because right now I think I'm guilty of like kind of accepting less than I deserve. And I think when I have more confidence from like concrete evidence of things that I've done and promises that I've kept to myself, I hopefully won't be doing that as much. And that is just like really personal, but it's fine. And then the last thing, and this is like kind of ridiculous, this is kind of crazy and maybe too ambitious, but I would like to lose 50 pounds this year. And I know that people like don't believe me when I say this, but like I went to the doctor the other day and I weighed 182 pounds. I'm literally 5'5", like my BMI is terrible. I don't feel healthy. Like when I'm like exercising with my friends, like I get out of breath, and like that's just not okay. So that's part of where the like running thing comes in. But I would like to get to 130 pounds, but I'm not going to like hold myself to the number per se. I would really like to like gain more muscle and lose fat, which I know can make the scale like not as representative as what we would like it to be. So yeah, I think that would help with the confidence too. I think it would help me like build discipline. I just want to be like the best version of myself this next year. Like I'm gonna be 27 at the end of it. Like I don't want to spend my whole 20s like hating my body and stuff. So I am gonna do something about it this year. My dad and I have already been like working on the walking and running. So we've been hiking a mile every day, which like I know sounds like really trivial and small, but a mile is better than no miles. And so I've kind of built out a schedule that I'm going to follow on my rotations, and I've got like a gym membership loading, I've got class pass. I have no excuse not to. And I think my diet plan that I'm gonna do is try to be gluten-free, because I think I get really bloated and stuff when I eat gluten and it really hurts my stomach. So I'm gonna try my best to do that, and just kind of see what that does for me. Drink less sweet tea, less Dr. Pepper, which is heartbreaking, but it has to be done. I need to be healthy. And then at the end of the year, I'd like to try 75 hard, but I just can't do that while I'm in school. So that's gonna have to wait until I graduate, until I get into a better routine with like working, figuring my life out. But yeah, so all this to say, like, I know that's a lot to do, but I think doing it in the 12-week time spans, or like the 4 months at a time, is going to help me stay focused and accomplish more than if I was just to look at it all from like this huge macro view of like, I have these 30 things that I want to do this year. How am I going to do them all at once? I'm not going to do them all at once. I'm going to do them like kind of stepwise, so that I don't, one, get overwhelmed, and two, get burnt out. I really think I can accomplish all these things if I just like really keep my focus and stay on the path that I set out for myself now. In my monthly resets, I'm going to do like updates on this and show you guys kind of like where I'm at in the process. If you have goals that you are working on and you want to like kind of keep each other accountable, we can do that in the comments, in my DMs, whatever you guys want to do. I'm happy to do it. I really think this is a great time of year for so many people, because everyone is so hopeful and optimistic. If you didn't accomplish your goals in 2023, it's fine. Like, that's done. We're done with 2023. She's out of here. So you can really turn it around this year. If you didn't accomplish things, if you did accomplish things, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you, and let's continue that momentum into 2024. I think a lot of people in our age are really working on themselves, and it's so great to see that. So I'm happy to be a part of it, and I am excited for what this year is going to hold. I think 26 is going to be my best year yet. I just think it's kind of funny how like every year I set these like New Year's resolutions, and then I also like have a birthday at the same time. I know a lot of people use their birthdays as like a reset time throughout the year, but I don't really get that. So yeah, so we're just gonna be enjoying 2024, enjoying being 26, and I will obviously keep you guys updated. I'm excited to get started on these things and see how much my life can change from one year to the next. So if you stayed for this long in the video, thank you so much, and leave your favorite emoji in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, as well as PA school content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.